Oh yeah, welcome to the show on a filthy Tuesday. How are you, everybody? Great to be with you. Hey, we're up to a little under 350,000 views on Breath of Fresh Air. It's a huge hit. For you haters out there, it's bigger than your mother's ass. What the fuck do I have you here for? I can get chimps to work the computers, but I can't get chimps to laugh, so let's step on it. 350,000, breath of fresh air. And yes, thank all you people. And these are people sitting down and watching it for an hour. I haven't even seen the thing on a large screen yet. Tommy, my manager, says it looks, I've only seen it on a phone or a computer, and it looks tremendous. Great response. 20-1 positive to negative comments. So again, haters, you can kiss my dirty ass. Boop, boop, boop. It's a breath of fresh air. People are going, it's perfectly named because we've had it. We have fucking had it. After I get through these stories today, you'll have had it even more with this retarded left-wing nonsense, this PC, people being attacked on Twitter. Now that I think about it, I think that's why they created it, just to fucking squelch anything they disagree with. I think they knew this on day one. And we got to break up Facebook. We got to break up all this shit. It's become too big, too powerful. You think the Russians had any influence in the election? Wait till Facebook and Zuckerberg and his friends and the people at Google who fire people, literally fire people that think differently than they do. You don't think they're going to have an effect on the election? They control all information that we get. So, but go to Yahoo News. They give you the real news. I'm sick of watching news that I agree with. I want both sides of the story. Yeah, then go to Yahoo News, who uses 12 of their sources are liberal. But keep swallowing the shit, you dummies. Ay, ay, ay. Coming to you live, Patreon members. I love you.
Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live!
Yeah, we'll do it goddamn live.
You know you one crazy motherfucking wop, man.
No, I do not. My dad was. He was the crazy wop. And a Marine, and I have the knots on my forehead to prove it. Talk about a no. I always, that was on my stories that I told we had company over. I think it was Thanksgiving, and my mother goes, "Nicky, you want salad?" I was like a sophomore in high school. I go, "What kind of lettuce?" My father slaps me. I don't know how he even reached me. Backhander right in front of everybody. And I fucking cursed him out right in front of, and my sister's father-in-law brought that story up every day for the next 5 years. He was laughing so hard he was crying. Because I deserved it. I was being a snotty bitch, but I made it clear I like romaine. I hate fucking bib lettuce. And the old man cracked me one. That's the fucking Marine. I was waiting for the old, there's kids in Africa that would love to have romaine lettuce. No, not really. They'd eat the bugs off the lettuce. So name one, as we used to say. So thank you for the great response. Breath of fresh air. I'll tell you what is not a breath of fresh air. Douchebag Bill DeBlasio. Let me tell you something, folks. I moved from Boston to New York City right around 1990 when Mayor Dinkins, an African-American mayor, he might have been the first African-American in New York, nice guy, not extreme, but the city had trash piled up. Surprise, surprise. You couldn't. Squeegee men you'd stop your car for a second. Some homeless guy would, throw a cup of mud on it and then ask to be paid to clean it off. The squeegee things I were so bad. I said I was on a bike and I pulled up to a stop sign. A guy squeegeed my face for like 5 minutes. It was fucking horrible. Garbage. Subways looked like they were all graffitied. It looked like 1970 New York. And then I moved to L.A. for a year, and I came back, and Giuliani replaced Mayor Dinkins. I came back a couple years later. There was, I couldn't believe it. You could eat off the sidewalks. There were no, I was convinced Giuliani shot like all the homeless people or some shit, which I'm fine with. Nah, I'm just kidding. But there were no squeegee men. I saw no homeless people. All the trash was gone. It was like coming back to a different city. But that's called law and order, something that the Democrat Party is not for. We all know that. But now New York City has a jerk-off for a mayor, the biggest ever. Bill DeBlasio, this guy, look at him. That's him on the set of Good Times in the role of James, the father. He actually used his kid's haircut. See the afro? He used his kid like in every ad when he was running for mayor. Because it's important in New York City to say, I love black people. Look, that wife doesn't like him. I can see it in her eyes. And look at him, just a big, and he's from Boston. Fucking, and they hate him in New York. Not because he's from Boston, but he's even a shitty, I mean, it's as liberal city as you get, and he's even too left-wing for them. He shows up at conferences like a half hour late, and the picture explains why. And, but he was, just doing that to go, look, I'm just like you. I'm not on the clock. And they hate him. Even the fucking libs hate him, and he's just an asshole, and it's so embarrassing. He's from my hometown, and a big doofus. And my buddy Louis C.K. loves him. He had a picture with Mayor DeBlasio when we were doing Horace and Pete, and I fucking text him. I go, what are you, a dick? You like that guy? And he's like, Giuliani was a cocksucker, blah, blah, blah. And then we had a good laugh about it. That's called virtue signaling. When you take a picture with somebody that far left, you go, look, I'm with the good people. I'm not with the bigots and the racists and the deplorables. He looks like a fucking Sesame Street cartoon. And he's groping his wife. Oh, it's his wife. That's allowed. But anyways, he went to Trump Towers a couple of days ago to tell the New York City, his followers, that the Green New Deal is what he's pushing, the Green New Deal. And he did it at Trump Towers, because he says, well, Trump's buildings emit all kinds of, and buildings like it. And he, he's signing with AOC, an 11-year-old former bartender from the Bronx. So, he's a fucking genius. But here's watch the clip of the people on the escalator behind him. This is at Trump Towers. Come on. They were chanting and yelling over him and stuff. I love it. I bet you Trump sent these guys down. They gave him $1,000 apiece. Look at this failed mayor. Unbelievable. Worst mayor ever. Look at Big Bird. Big fucking bird. LGBT hates him. How do you get the LGBT to hate you when you're a liberal? Very hard. And who's that speaking? Warren Sapp's sister, Sheila Sapp. And look at this ball guy sneaking out, going, I've had enough. Oh, he's got the yarmulke on. It's a New York. Look, now they're going up the other side. This guy, who's that? Oh, some broad you didn't even know. These are my fans. I want you to use the escalator. Those people were on that thing for like 2 hours, just going back and forth, and I fucking loved it. And, he thought he was going to make a big dent in the Green New Deal. And look, I've given you my angle on it, okay? I know this, I believe there's some climate change, no doubt about it. Fucking Earth has been around 1 billion years. It's not going to, but the urgency is just fake to me. I'm sorry. Even look, I got a tan. I go out to get my mail, so something has changed. But I'm just saying this whole fucking baloney about, that the fucking planet is going to burn up in 12 years. And here he is. He's an activist. He's a big baby activist. This is a generation of, you remember the hippies in the 60s? This is their asshole kids. And then their grandkids now buying into this shit. But here's DeBlasio. You're a mayor or an activist?
Our planet, not your profit. 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 Our planet, not your profit.
Hey, that's a Trump move.
Well done, everybody.
Well done, everybody. Shut up. I don't want to hear from the jerk-off.
Things I'm smart, not like everybody says. Like dumb, I'm smart, and I want respect.
I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yes, you are. You are the worst. I don't know how, maybe we'll see a Republican mayor. But there's the Green New Deal. The environment is so important to Bill DeBlasio. And it's so important that we take care of the planet that this is what one of the subway cars looks like under DeBlasio, okay? It's very important that we keep the planet clean. And there you go.
You see this shit? This how the trains be looking in the mornings. This how the trains be looking in the morning. Like, this shit is crazy, blood.
That's a guy from Channel 7 talking.
This shit's stupid, dude. And they want us to pay more money. And look at this. This is crazy, my beloved. This is crazy, beloved.
Beloved? What's he saying?
This shit is crazy.
That's DeBlasio.
This should make you not want to sit on trains and all that, B.
Yeah, but you can get something to eat on the way to work.
Beloved. And they want more money. Y'all niggas is crazy. MTA, y'all gotta do something. Y'all gotta do better. MTA gotta do better, B.
All right, we got it. That's what you used to hear going to work. But that's how much he cares about the environment. And don't think the streets don't look much different. And that goes for Seattle, San Francisco, all the environmentalists, all the Green New Deal. Their cities are the fucking worst. LA, it looks like Brazil. Seriously, they look like third world shitholes. Literally, Nancy Pelosi has to step over human feces when she comes out of her. I'm not making that up. That's fucking true. Right where she fucking lives. Not to mention the Tenderloin District and stuff. And they're out there. Just the environment is the most important thing. And the temperature's going to go up 3 degrees in the next fucking 100 years. Yeah, but there's a homeless guy laying in his own shit today. We're worrying about cow flatulence? How about homeless shit? Jesus H. Christ. You don't know how to govern, okay? If you didn't have, and I've said this 1,000 times, if you didn't have the mainstream media on your side, you wouldn't win an election. You would not even be in the fucking race. But you have the mainstream media. You have a propaganda arm, whether it's NBC, CBS, ABC, the New York Times, Washington Post. You have all that wrapped up, not to mention, MSNBC. You have that to spew your stupid shit and CNN. And people still use the TV as the Bible. Hopefully it'll be the internet soon. I am your savior. Green New Deal. Fucking shit New Deal. But I love the fact that he thought he was going to go into Trump Tower. And I want to see Trump watching that and belly laughing. He just hired a bunch of people that, usually work on his golf courses. Here, hold these signs. Don Jr.'s writing them up with a Sharpie and fucking Lara. Get those out there. Anyways, I hate DeBlasio, hate everything he stands for, and you should too, whatever side of the aisle you're on. And he thinks he's going to run for president. But by the way, he's grandstanding. This is how he gets national news. He thinks he's going to run for president. They hate him in New York City. But yeah, you're gonna win. Are you dog styling me? You're fucking delusional. Let's stay on the Green New Deal or the New Green Deal or the deal that's fucking stupid. Billy Nye, my old friend Billy Nye. You know him, the childhood scientist, jack-off fraud who's really a mechanical engineer, and that's true. Bill Nye deviated from his kid-friendly science guy persona on Sunday night to help hack left-wing John Oliver. You remember John Oliver. He's the one that when Trump said he was thinking about running, he was going, please run. I will pay you to run. We have to import jerk-offs from England to talk about the severity of climate change. Nye proved he's not always the mild-mannered nerd millennials grew up with when he joined Oliver during his episode detailing carbon pricing and the Green New Deal. He says, I'm happy to say Bill Nye has actually agreed to drive the urgency home at this point. This is Oliver talking, by doing one of his enjoyable, lighthearted demonstrations. And I know damn well John Oliver's wrote this for him because this guy is about as funny as Kamala Harris, just fucking humorless. I'll show a clip of me and him that'll prove that. But and this was actually funny, okay? But because comedy writers wrote it. But, and they said curse it up or whatever because it's HBO. It was actually funny, but here you go.
Here, I've got an experiment for you. Safety glasses on. By the end of this century, if emissions keep rising, the average temperature on Earth could go up another 4 to 8 degrees. What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire. There are a lot of things we could do to put it out. Are any of them free?
How about
no,
sitting on it?
Of course not. Nothing's free, you idiots. Grow the fuck up. You're not children anymore. I didn't mind explaining photosynthesis to you when you were 12, but you're adults now, and this is an actual crisis. Got it? Safety glasses off, motherfuckers.
He realized he was a fucking nerd and he's got to get hip. And he's a mechanical engineer, is what he is, and a fucking fraud and a phony. But I got to say, that was funny. See, I'm a guy on the right who can laugh at shit. I can laugh at Bill Maher now and then, even though I'd behead him with a fucking spork tonight. He's got one of my favorite jokes of all time. Bill Maher used to, this is when he first started comedy. He said, I'm Catholic and Jewish, which means when I go to confession, I bring my lawyer. He's like, bless me, Father, for I have sinned, and I think you know Mr. Cohen. It's a great joke. But they're all full of shit, and that's Billy Nye, who, he's a fucking dope.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Yes, he is.
I'm a fucking idiot.
The tough-talking version of Nye gained widespread attention online, and he quickly became a trending topic on Twitter. Bill Nye is not the one we used to know. I never knew him, because, again, I was a weird little kid. I liked little girls and sports. Hated Dungeons and Dragons, did not watch Disney, That's because my mother didn't hand me a Barbie doll when I was 6. And say, lick this. Anyways, if you guys, I appeared with Bill Nye on the Anthony Cumia show, and I set him up beautifully. He took the bait, and then I bitch slapped him.
Flunked out of University of Maine.
Yeah.
You flunked out.
Yeah.
I think we're all shocked.
It happens.
I don't like your sarcasm, asshole. This ain't the fucking Bill Maher show, Bill.
Oh, the John Oliver show. I set him up, and he took the bait. Look how excited I look. Look at him. Look at him. That's me in high school. He's the kid I beat up. That's how he's seeing it. And, he's the one who got A's. I wasn't bad in high school. 83 out of 400. Nothing to brag about, but, what can I tell you? But Billy Nye and John Oliver still has credibility after fucking laughing when Trump said he was going to run, and he said, please run. And you've been wrong about everything. I'm going to keep saying it. You were wrong about the goddamn election. You were wrong about the Mueller report. Just little things. But do you ever fucking... In New York City, you're wrong about Kirsten Gillibrand. You know what? She's blaming gender bias for low polling ahead of 2020. Not the fact she's a hypocritical, phony fuck, the shallow. She should wear a no diving sign around her neck. She's so shallow. Just a fucking carpet-munching dope. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand claims she's being underestimated in the race for the 2020 Democratic nomination for president, and blamed gender bias for many problems she faces, such as low polling. I think it's just gender bias. I think people are generally biased against women. I think also biased against young women. Oh, you're a victim, bitch. There's just bias, and it's real, and it exists, but you have to overcome it, she says. Well, why don't you? And stop your fucking whining. Put down the fucking...
Go ahead. Cry like a bitch.
Voters will, she says, voters will give women a shot. They just have to get to know her. The low-polling presidential hopeful said they might make a judgment without knowing her, but once they meet her and know who she is and why she's running, it will give her that opportunity. That's how it works for everybody. How do you explain Hillary getting there, almost? And then she was exposed for the dope that she is. By the way, that's the only time you'll see that mouth like that. And I guarantee when it is, there's not a penis with 400 miles. I don't mind that she's gay. She's good looking. I'd pay to watch her fucking, chow down. The planet's on fire. She says, listen, Gillibrand was currently polling at less than 1% in a field of more than 24 Democrats. Also said she knows she will beat Trump in 2020 because she does not take her serious. Why should we take you seriously? Look at some of your friends. Look at some. There you go. Oh, the thick ankle dog face. She's leaning in to give her a nice wet kiss. And then who else is she? Oh, look it. Jesus, look at the pipes on her. That looks like a fucking power forward's arm. There she is with alleged rapist. So, you know, and then she's out there talking about gender bias and she was a hashtag Me Too. She couldn't shut her mouth. But there she is with her friends who she, you know, probably disowns now because she's just a two-faced dummy. You don't have a chance in hell. Okay? You're a gay woman. You make up about 0.2% of the total population. You see the world differently than I do and most people. Nick, how can you say such a thing? We're all the same. Well, yeah, her and I like to eat pussy. That's about what we have in common. And so does the guy next to her. Apparently, he does it non-consensually. But, yeah, you don't have a chance, honey. Do yourself a favor. Starbucks on 42nd Street and 3rd is looking for a barista. My opponent never took me seriously, she says, which is why I'm going to beat Trump, because he is not going to take me seriously. No, he isn't, because you're not even going to be there. His approval rating's at about 50%. You can't even pull 1% in the fucking primaries. He didn't even take, like, Jeb Bush seriously from a political dynasty. We're going to take you, a two-faced novice? Please, go play with your toys. Ah, my eye. What a horrible place New York City's turned into. It's a great city. Don't get me wrong. Great city and stuff, but the politicians, it's like San Francisco. That was my favorite city I had ever been to when I first started going on the road. It's the only city I would not lay in the hotel and watch porn. I'd go out and actually make porn. Get a couple crack whores and, you know, you buy them a slice of pizza. Next thing you know, they're going to town on each other. I used to explore San Francisco, but now you can't do it. If I can go 3 feet to, you know, outside your hotel and you have Hep C. Here's what she's complaining about. The profile also revealed Gillibrand's frustration with the DNC's 65,000 donor threshold, which she has yet to reach. She doesn't even have 65,000 donors. So she wants, you know, she's complaining about the process and the system because she's not doing well. She's just a dope, selfish little child. Change the rules. That's an odd measurable, she says. Gillibrand said of the threshold, which is required to make it into the first and second debates. Like, why do you make that your measurable as opposed to have you won elections before? Have you ever run statewide before? And how many votes have you gotten before? And have you passed legislation? And are you effective in your job? What a whiny bitch, huh?
Your tears are so yummy and sweet. Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. Yummy, you guys.
This is supposed to be a strong woman and just whining. Everything is men's fault, like a true gay woman. They hate us to the core. I don't know why. I enjoy their work. Oh, our Father who art in heaven. More left-wing fascism. Author may lose book deal after shaming black transit worker. I was a little mixed on this one. I don't know if you guys saw this story. It was an author and self-described social media maven. I don't like that title already. Is being dropped by a publishing house after she tweeted a photo of a black transit worker eating on a train in Washington, D.C., and alerting the woman's supervisor. Here's the pic of the woman. And she says, this is the author who's going to lose her book deal, Natasha Tynes. She's Jordanian. When you're on your morning commute and see a WMATA employee in uniform eating on the train, I thought we're not allowed to eat on the train. Yeah, well, that's you. She works for... This is unacceptable. Hope Baba responds. When I asked the employee about this, her response was, worry about yourself, you cracker motherfucker. No, worry about yourself, and would you like some lettuce? So then I read on, okay? Natasha Tynes, social media strategist and communications officer for the World Bank Group in Washington, tweeted the photo Friday of a uniformed Washington metropolitan area transit worker to publicly. See, this is where Joshua Rhett Miller, who wrote the article, injects his left-wing dog shit. This is where I always point this out in the articles. You're not supposed to inject your opinion. She did it to publicly shame the employee. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. She did it because she saw some hypocrisy that you're not supposed to eat on the train, and that's why she did it. Not to publicly shame her, Joshua, who's obviously your brain is filled with your fucking idiot professor's college lib mush. Or to publicly shame the employee by saying her conduct was against well-known rules and regulations. Hey, get this. It was. Are you that so against fucking rules and regulations? This is another lib tenet. You can't judge anybody's behavior. Whether it's a homeless guy shooting heroin in his cock while he's in a puddle of his own piss. Seriously, you can't judge anybody's behavior.
It's really ironic that one of the rules is that you can't judge the rules.
Yes. Somebody help me with that translator? It's like Bill Nye's kid weighing in. No, you're right, though. Good point, Jason. Look at the arms on her. I think she'd make quite a defensive end for the Eagles. Nick, why do you get a fat chin? I'm not. She's kind of cute. She looks like my cousin Vinny. This is unacceptable, Tynes tweeted, according to a screenshot captured by the Washington Post. Of course, the Post jumps right on it because, there's race involved. She says, Hope at WMA responds, when I asked the employee about this, she said, yeah, go fuck yourself. No, she said, worry about yourself. I'm sure they clean that up. Tynes later apologized. There's a big mistake, saying she was truly sorry for the offending tweet. Okay, you know what then? If you're apologizing, then you're wrong. That's where it ends. You have no more argument. Now you're all looking at me. Didn't you apologize for that picture of the black guy, blah, blah, blah? Yeah, because it wasn't my intent. It wasn't my original intent to be giving a dead black guy the finger. That's why I and in her family, I thought about his family. But I made it strongly clear I hated everything he stood for and shit. But it wasn't my original intent. If it was my intent, I would have said, I'm not apologizing for anything. Are you with me, folks? I don't ever apologize, except for then. You're a hypocrite, motherfucker. Tynes' Twitter account, which at one time boasted more than 8,000 followers, was no longer active as of Monday because the social media fucking we're better than you mob came after her. We're holier than thou. We're more moral than you. Oh, my aching stem. I hope the cell phones cause cancer. The ones that people that are on for 12 hours. She declined to discuss the controversy when reached for comment early Monday by the Post. But the retaliation online was swift, namely from the publishing house set to release Tynes' debut novel, They Called Me Wyatt. Past tenses. In a scathing statement, Rare Bird Books slammed the author's truly horrible actions. This is just virtue signaling by a company by trying to draw attention to the workers' actions, which is banned on buses and trains throughout the sprawling transportation system.
Problem.
So
You're the fucking problem.
the publishing
You fucking
company,
Dr. White, onking jam
PC
rag,
assholes.
Spunk bubble. I'm telling you, H. You keep looking at me, I'm going to put you in the fucking ground. I promise you. Not this time.
And then they have to go too far. Listen to this. This is from the publishers, okay, that we're going to publish her book. Black women face a constant barrage of this kind of inappropriate behavior directed toward them and a constant policing of their bodies. What? What? A constant policing of their bodies? Is that why they have a 78% illegitimacy rate? Because we're policing them? We think this is unacceptable and have no desire to be involved with anyone who thinks it's acceptable to jeopardize a person's safety and employment this way. Yeah, well.
But it's all lies.
Really? But you don't have a problem with her career being ruined? You're all right with that, but you don't have a problem with her career being ruined or tarnished permanently because you guys blew something up? You social justice fucking warriors. She didn't spit in the woman's face and call her a derogatory name. Here's where we are. Can't we all agree to fucking get off Twitter after I plug my next gig? Anyways. The publishing house said it was moving to cancel Tynes' novel with its distribution network and called on the book's publisher, California Coldblood, to mull other appropriate steps. We do not condone her actions and hope Natasha learns from this experience that black women feel the effects of this systematic racism the most and that we have to be allies, not oppressors. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. Yeah, I saw all those black women being, being hung out in public for sneaking their kids into colleges. Tons of them. Seriously, tell me where black women are being, their bodies are being policed and they're being scrutinized more than anybody else. Seems like they have the freedom to say anything they want because they're at the top of the victim food chain. So I respectfully disagree. Is my head getting wider? These used to slide right on. Those numbers did it. He's getting conceited. That's what California Cold Blood said. As for the book's publication, we're halting all shipments from the warehouse and postponing the book's publication date while we further discuss appropriate next steps to officially cancel the book's publication. You think this fucking woman, this Jordanian woman, stabbed this black woman? Talk about overreaction. This is the times we're living in. Just agree with me. You shut up. We're moral. You're wrong. You're bigoted. You did it to shame her because she's a black woman. You keep trying to read hearts and minds, and you're so fucking bad at it, yet it works for you politically because we have that many dumb people in this country and more pouring in just as dumb. That's all it is. Metro officials did not respond to requests for comment on whether the employee was disciplined for her actions. But the chief of staff for its workers' union said the employee was taking a meal break while traveling between two assignments, which I believe. Like I said, I wasn't totally on board with this woman, but she wasn't the way you categorize it as, it was racial and trying to shame a black woman. Total nonsense. Some people believe in rules and regulations and see hypocrisy, like your senators with their health insurance. They have those Cadillac plans that we don't have. That type of shit. You know what I mean? Okay. Not everything is racial. I'm sorry. So she was taking a meal break while traveling between assignments. What is she, a fucking special agent? No action had been taken against the women as of Sunday, and union officials will not support any discipline, the newspaper reported. You can't get fired if you're a black woman. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, they're so put upon. If she broke a rule, she's not even going to be disciplined. Oh, but you're so put upon. If you're a black woman and you're in a union, you could shoot a fucking baby in the head. I'm stealing Trump's line. I could shoot somebody in Fifth Avenue. I'll still win this motherfucker. Hey, folks, real quick, dates. That's right, I'm still touring. It's still my bread and butter. You get these at nickdip.com. I'll read them to you because if you're in the car listening. Friday, May 31st, Jonathan's in Agunquit, Maine. Saturday, June 1, Whites of Westport. Friday, that's in Westport, Mass. Friday, June 7th, the Steel Stacks in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That's the one that got canceled earlier because of weather. Saturday, August 10th, Newtown Theater, Newtown, Pennsylvania. Friday and Saturday, August 16th and 17th, Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia. Friday, October 18th, one of the most beautiful venues in the nation. Thinking about shooting my next one there, Ridgefield Playhouse, Ridgefield, Connecticut. Friday, November, I'll shoot it there if Mickey Dolenz isn't doing a whole weekend. There's always, you guys have no idea who he is. Friday, November 15th, Cortland Repertory Theater, Cortland, New York. Saturday, November 16th, The Comedy Works, Saratoga Springs, New York. And then New Year's Eve, back at the Tarrytown Music Hall, Tarrytown, New York. That is a stunning venue. And don't forget to go to Cameo.com if you would like me to send a little video roasting one of your friends or one of your enemies, telling your neighbor to butt out, telling your old girlfriend to fuck off, telling your old boyfriend that he's a syphilitic whore, or just saying happy birthday to Diane, who's 11. I can make or break their day with a video. So Cameo.com, go to my profile, fill out the information. I love doing it. I can do them anyway. I did one on the toilet this morning. Just, hey, Bob, your wife says you're an asshole. And then I went like this. Cameo.com. Excuse me. Got to get off those cigarettes. Deke, I think I want what you want. What is yours a jewel?
Yes.
That's an actual jewel. And you said you can get the cartridges at gas stations?
Yeah.
Don't you love the South? You can pull up and go, can I get a case of Bud Light and a handgun? And I'm going to give you the money and just, I want yours. I don't think that, my dog was licking that this morning, was on the floor. STEM school shooter. Remember the shooting in Colorado that we talked about a few days ago? You know, STEM is science, math, English, and titties, or whatever, I forget. STEM school shooter's dad was criminal illegal alien, deported multiple times. Did you hear that, Nancy Pelosi? Did you hear that, Adam Schiff? Did you hear that, Chuck Schumer? The father of the 16-year-old transgender student who allegedly shot up STEM school Highlands Ranch last week is a criminal illegal alien who has been deported multiple times from Mexico. The father, along with his biological daughter, is a serial felon and illegal immigrant from Mexico who was once jailed for 15 months for domestic violence against the shooter's mother and menacing with a weapon. It's good to see, huh? We're really vetting these people. The father, 33, has been deported twice from the United States and had been arrested multiple times in the last several years. But, you know, sanctuary cities and whatnot act as a magnet and, you know, also the Dems out there going, we're going to get free health care even to illegals. You think that might stick around for that. But this guy was a total scumbag. I'm not using it as an excuse for what his kid did. His kid's a transgender. He's got his own or her own problems. Nick, why is that a problem? I don't know. It just is. In 2008, the father was charged with attempting to kidnap. What a piece of fucking shit. Menacing with a weapon, failing to stop the police. On December 27, 2016, police in Castle Rock learned a warrant had been issued against Quintana in New Mexico for domestic violence. They found him at a house in Castle Rock and arrested him for being a fugitive from justice. Well, he looks like a happy guy. No, he looks, those are my eyes in every picture, though. You know how many people come up to me my whole life and go, you all right? What's the problem? Nothing. It's my birthday. I'm actually happy. What's he? He looks like he's 23. The male noted the transgender shooter wrote multiple times on social media about missing their dad, wondering why their dad was not around. So now you know why he was not around.
Not my dad! You also hear something! Ugly ass fucking...
That the post made by the transgender shooter showed a psychologically tortured kid who experimented with drugs, detested his classmates, and was struggling to fit in. Okay, but don't shoot up your classmates. Maybe think about taking a shot at the old man. He's the one who fucking beat you up, beat your mother up, kidnapping. When I say take a shot at him, I mean a swing or something. I don't mean fucking, I'm not promoting violence here. Although, like I said, Super Soaker filled with cat urine, I found. I've been saying that for a couple of years on the show, and some guy, a couple of weeks ago, Jace, remember? There was a story, a guy doused his neighbor with a Super Soaker filled with his own piss. Now, if that guy's not a Patreon member, I'll be very surprised. And I'll send him a free hat. But anyways, the point is, this guy's been deported multiple times. What the fuck? What are you going to do to get kicked out permanently? I don't understand. I'm driving around, you know, once in a while, my license expired, I'm sweating bullets. You know, this guy, he's only got kidnapping, gun charges, assault, but, you know. The tragic shooting left one dead, several injured, and was instantly politicized by far-left group Moms Demand Action. Hey, mothers, why don't you butt out? Mothers Against Drunk Drivers took all the fun out of driving drunk. Now you're going to try to take our guns away. Mind your fucking business, okay? Make the husband a BLT. Wax the floors. Every time they get groups, the mothers, Mothers Against Dust on the table. Left one dead, seven. Instant killed by Mothers Demand Action and Democrat politicians Rep. Jason Crow, Colorado, and Senator Michael Bennett, Colorado, who used a vigil for the student who was killed to push for gun control. That's what these scumbags do. They come right in. It's like seeing a dead roadkill and you see the fucking birds come down pecking at it. That's just what they swoop in. And you know what? I love these kids because it was supposed to be, this gathering was supposed to be a vigil for that kid Kendrick that we talked about who tried to stop the shooter and was killed. He's a hero. But these scumbag adults, no, that's not important. And the kids picked up on it. This school is a lot brighter than the kids at my school. Hundreds of students attended the vigil held at nearby Highlands Ranch High School and quickly realized that the event was intended to push for gun control and was not about remembering Kendrick Castillo, the 18-year-old classmate who was killed when he attacked the assailant, allowing some of his classmates to escape. Multiple people who were at the event identified moms demand actions. I demand action now. Pick up your underwear and put away the guns. Multiple people were at the event. Moms demands action. Laura Reeves as the person who most angered those in attendance, which led to them storming out of the event and chanting mental health. Good for you kids for picking up. This is how savvy the kids are today, thanks to social media. It's a double-edged sword. It makes them politically aware when somebody's trying to use them. Yet psychos that shoot up schools use it, get radicalized on it or whatever. It's their fake home. Reeves said multiple things that one student described as dystopian. See, I wouldn't have known that word in high school. And said we're not connected to reality. Reeves encouraged students to help elect Democrat politicians. What a cold-hearted, just a fucking insensitive douche, Miss Reeves. All due respect, these kids are a lot brighter than you give them credit for. Register people to vote in the upcoming election. Lead walkouts and demonstrations. Write op-eds, raise money, and use social media to push for gun control. That's what Miss Reeves said, who they hated.
She's a malignant cunt.
That was the president. So again, once again, illegal immigration fails. Meanwhile, I reported last week, over the weekend, last weekend, it was 168,000 illegals we let go at the border. Remember, we're busting to other cities and shit. Is this bothering anybody? Are we too focused on the Green New Deal? It's all distractions. That's all it is. Look this way. They see what we're doing. Look over here. The earth's burning up. Don't pay attention to those 4,000 Guatemalans in your front lawn. Look over here. Trump said this on Twitter. You need a goddamn Dramamine at the end of the fucking day. What did Bill Nye say? What? We're going to burn up? AOC was what? Somebody picked on her? Stem. How about my aching stem? I am. This one fried my apples and it got my nuts in a bunch. I'll tell you. On the Friday after Donald Trump's 2016 election, did you guys hear about this Oberlin College, which is his left wing, and it's about $100,000 a year, it's $80,000 a year to go there. But the kids are put upon, the African-American students. On Friday after Donald Trump's 2016 election, when Oberlin College administration, okay, that's a key to the story, sent an email to students and faculty addressing anticipated reactions to the victory. Can you imagine the faculty? There's a white billionaire in charge. Things are going to get rough. You guys better stir up some shit. Can you imagine when Obama got elected? Some conservative schools, if there are any, going, there's a Negro in office. You know what that means? You guys. The email signed by Oberlin President Marvin Krislov and Meredith Raimondo, remember her name, the college's vice president and dean of students, acknowledged fears and concerns that many are feeling in response to the outcome of the presidential election. Oh, boo fucking who. On the day after the election, 3 African-American students from Oberlin College were arrested in connection with attempting to steal bottles of wine from a convenience store on the town square. After a brief scuffle with the shopkeeper, they were arrested and charged because that was their knee-jerk reaction. A racist white guy is in the White House. Everything's for free. Let's go steal some Ripple. Okay, Chardonnay. Sorry to offend anybody. Some students at the small liberal arts college in Oberlin, get this, Ohio, instantly determined that the arrest was racist. Now, why would they do that? When you have a faculty actually telling you should be worried that the white racists just got elected. Why would they do that, huh? And now the faculty and administration at this college is trying to separate themselves from the students. Say we had nothing. That's the gist of the case. They began protesting that the store Gibson's Food Market and Bakery was a racist establishment and had a long account of racial profiling, accusations printed on a flyer handed out in front of the food market. The flyer also encouraged boycotting the store.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
The protest against Gibson's a century-old family business eventually sparked a lawsuit that is scheduled to go to trial with jury selection beginning next week in the county seat of Elyria, Ohio, 10 miles from Oberlin. Gibson is suing the college, okay, that's the liquor store, suing the college, or the bakery, I should say, for libel and slander, among other actual malice accusations, claiming in its civil lawsuit that the school's defamatory statements caused long-term harm to the store's name and business, which it did. Okay, once again, there was a racial incident, and the libs jump on before they know all the fucking facts, turn it in. That's all you have to do now. That's why people try racial hoaxes. That's all you have to, even when the racial hoax is wrong, people go, Jussie Smollett, I still see why he did it. You have white people saying that. And that's why these kids react to this. They had a long history, a great history with this school. You know, this bakery. It's been in business over 100 years. Now all of a sudden there's a problem. The lawsuit alleges that Raimondo, that's the dean or whatever, one of the faculty, was one of the people passing out the flyers and leading the demonstration using a megaphone, and that the flyers were hung in college halls encouraging students and faculty to take their patronage elsewhere. Similarly, the lawsuit alleges that students used college resources to plan and execute the protest. There's no doubt that the college and the people who run the goddamn college, the so-called adults, were involved in stirring up shit and ruining the reputation of this business. Even though these kids were charged with shoplifting, later admitted that the shop owner had a right to use physical force to stop one of them. They admitted to all that, yet there's still being, they were boycotted for days and whatnot. This is unbelievable. This is like fascism, left-wing fascism at its best. Eric Goldberg, a law professor, says that the debate over what the purpose of a university is to be advocating discussion for all sides of the debate or advocating for just one. Exactly. We all know what side they advocate for on college campuses, 99.9%. Racial issues, listen to this, have been at the forefront in recent years at Oberlin College. This is a real expensive school, by the way, okay? If you go in there, you're privileged. Whether you're Japanese, black, Puerto Rican, white, you're privileged. No legs, hair lip from Calcutta? Maybe not. Where about 5% of the student enrollment is African American. Keep that number in mind, comes in later on. In 2016, members of the school's Black Student Union released a 14-page list of demands. I love we get kids demanding shit from adults and they give in, the lib pussies. A list, 14 demands referenced in the plaintiff's suit based on the fact that they thought the school was an unethical institution. Here's a school backing them. This list was from a few years ago. But what college campus administration or faculty doesn't back young African-American students? And they're saying unethical institution. In response, Krislov, the college president, said the school would not respond directly to any document that explicitly rejects the notion of collaborative agreement. Tensions at Gibson's came on the heels of another racially charged controversy at Oberlin. This is, again, Gibson the Big. The school's board of trustees fired rhetoric and composition professor Joy Carrega, the only black female faculty member in the department. See how bean counting comes into play? She's the only black woman, then she can do whatever she wants. She can break the fucking rules. In November 2016, for posting allegedly anti-Semitic messages on social media several months prior. I love how we use alleged, like you don't have empirical evidence of what she either posted the shit she did it or didn't, and it's either anti-Semitic or it isn't. Alleged, we don't know. We got to get to the bottom of it in a couple of years. She sued the college for breach of contract and employment discrimination on the basis of race and gender because she's a black woman. She'd be able to do whatever she wants. Demanding Carrega's guaranteed tenure was among the students' varied demands to the admin. So the students were demanding that they couldn't fire her that because she's a black woman. No, this is, you wonder why we're in the fucking mess we're in. College campuses, man, that's got to be the next ground zero. Something has to be done. Somebody come up with something, will you? Come on, Trump. Fuck the Middle East problem. Fix the college campuses. The Jews and Palestinians are going to be killing each other for another 3,000 years. Let's fix Oberlin College. I think the Middle East is easier. So the colleges demand that she was guaranteed tenure. You get the idea. The Gibson lawsuit. Where was I? Was filed after final charges were handed to the students, and
These blacks. Who knows where they're going to take the wrong way?
Livia Soprano being a racist. In August 2017, the three charged. Listen to this. August 2017, the three charged with shoplifting pleaded guilty to amended misdemeanor charges in County Common Pleas Court. The deal called for them to receive no jail time, again, such a racist legal system, and to pay restitution. Included in the deal was a statement by the three students that Gibson's employee, Alan Gibson, was within his right to detain one of the students and that his actions were not racially motivated. Yet we're still having a conversation about whether Gibson Bakery is, they're bad. They don't like black people. Even after this. Country is so fucked, it's scary. In fact, the school temporarily severed its partnership with Gibson's business because of the disputes. Well, naturally, they've only been done business peacefully for 100 years. The court has to determine whether the college participation in the protest might constitute aiding and abetting in libeling of the. Oh, gee, let me think about that one for a second. You see how the law, it's all gray area? There's no fucking black and white, no pun intended, but literally, that's what they do. They split hairs with words and language. And the woman who works at the college, the assistant dean, was handing out pamphlets and shit and putting stuff on Facebook. Is that not aiding and abetting? The school responded to the court case in its filing that Gibson seeks to personally profit from a polarizing event that negatively impacted Oberlin College. That's why they did it. They did it for the publicity. You know what we'll do? We'll rough up one of these black students and the croissants will be flying out of here. Oh, my aching stem. That's what the school's saying. I'm almost done, folks. The college's initial motion of dismissal also said that the lawsuit falsely portrays Gibson as innocent victim, but in reality, it was an employee of Gibson's Bakery who left the safety of his business to violently, physically assault an unarmed student. He's in his place of business. They come in and they're shoplifting. You want him to stay behind the counter. That's what you're saying. You're fucked up. You on the left, Pete, you guys are fucked up. They're actually saying he should have stayed behind the counter and watched his shit be looted. And this is after the students admitted in a statement, so they could play down their shit, that he had a right to. He left the safety of his business to violently, physically assault an unarmed. I like how they turned that around. He probably tackled the guy or woman that was stealing. Violent assault. Oberlin also defended its administration's presence at the protest because the school was concerned with the safety of its students, and being there was part of its policy. You fucking kidding me?
You're lying. And you're a piece of shit.
You smug cocksucker. Fuck you.
Hey, watch that talk. Anyhow, have we butchered the issue of race in this country? Have we twisted it? We've wrung every sense of logic and reasoning when it comes to a racial matter. We couldn't have it more ass backwards. And you know why? The left has been dominating that discussion since about 1960. With their fucking quotas and patronizing to minorities and giving into demands that it is. But this is such a perfect example of it. This is a business that had a great reputation, Gibson's, and great relationship with the schools. And then some scumbags come in because they're upset because a white billionaire won the presidency, try to steal shit. Guy tries to protect his shit, and he's the asshole. And then they boycott his store after these kids admitted that they did what they did. My nipples are getting sweaty. Well, here's a story from my home state. In the Savannah area, officer killed Saturday night in Savannah has been identified as Sergeant Kelvin Ansari, a 10-year veteran of the Savannah Police Force. Sergeant Ansari, Officer Douglas Thomas, and the suspect were involved in a shooting Saturday, May 11th, near the 2300 block of Bull Street in the town of Savannah. The city of Savannah. Officer Thomas had been treated and released. The suspect, who has been identified as Edward Fuller III. Oh, my God, there were three of them. Yeah, he looks so different than everybody else. Was also taken to a local hospital. According to a tweet from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, he has died. A new release from the GBI said that officers responded to the area around 8:10 p.m. to follow up on a robbery call after a person claimed they were robbed leaving the Boys to Men barbershop. I usually get my hair done in 2-packs. But that closed down after he died. Boys. Where you going? I got a dentist appointment at the OJ's. What? Boys to Men Barbershop. And by the way, I love, what was Cedric the Entertainer, those movies? Is it called Barbershop, right? By the way, I know Cedric. But that was one of my favorite. I've watched that a couple times because that's what goes on. I don't, but it's scary. A guy's cutting your hair. He just had his third fucking 40-ounce. You walk out of there's like a map of the Eastern Bloc countries in the back of your neck. Why would that be, Nick? I don't know. I just made it up. According to Blee, Fuller stole money and other items before striking the victim with a weapon. Officers began the investigation after they arrived on the scene. At the time, the suspect was thought to have left the area, but was in the nearby vehicle. Sergeant Anzari and the second officer unknowingly walked near Fuller's vehicle, unaware that he was inside. According to the GBI, Fuller exited the vehicle and fired shots at both officers. He then fled into the backyard of a nearby home. Other officers were able to locate Fuller, who exited an outdoor shed with his gun raised. This is suicide by cop. According to the GBI, one officer fired, actually not because he killed the cop. One officer fired his weapon, striking Fuller. Fuller's gun was found to have been stolen. Surprise, surprise. Sergeant Anzari, survived by his wife, naturally, 4 children between the ages of 5 and 25. Mayor Eddie DeLoach also spoke, saying that Sergeant Anzari paid the ultimate price. He said, the mayor said, our community owes this man and all the men and women who wear the badge their depth of gratitude. I've spoken to the officer's widow and his family. I have assured them that I, the alderman, and the entire city will do whatever we can to ease her pain as we mourn this loss together, Mayor DeLoach said. So, once again, we'll see. We'll watch if they swoop in the gun control people, and this is a cop. This is an armed cop, just doing his job, and I don't know what to tell you, folks. Good one to end on, a nice high note. But God bless him and his family. I guess you're not supposed to say thoughts and prayers. You can't say that now. So what am I supposed to say? Okay, I'll say this. I'm glad the suspect is dead. How about that? That's what they should come out and say instead of thoughts and prayers. Because our thoughts and prayers are with the victim, but fuck the guy who shot him and everybody who thinks like him. Say that and see how that flies during a press conference. That is it. I'm going to save this one for tomorrow. Woman's privilege. A woman pays just $250 fine for stabbing a stranger in the head with a stiletto. But that war against women, it's horrible. I tried to stab somebody with a wingtip once. That's it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying. Pauline, what do you get to say? Let's close the show with a Pauline.
Can most people accept laughter during romantic encounter?
I think they prefer applause.
Anyways, that's it for today. Super chance? No? Son of a bitch, no super. I need the money, folks. I really do. I just bought a 1981 Subaru. All right, that is it. Again, don't forget Breath of Fresh Air. Spread it on Facebook with your friends, people who don't know me. Let's make this thing viral. Let's make it go crazy. 350 is pretty goddamn good. But I'm not satisfied, okay? People love it, but we haven't even got in front of the Trump people yet. Do you know what I'm saying? These are comedy fans who watch this, who know me a little bit. We haven't got to the people that we're aiming at. Why are you all looking at me like I'm retarded, you three, all right? Deke, did you smoke a big fat one before the show? You've been staring at me like a retarded puppy for the last fucking half hour. Maybe I'll get laid. Listen.
You are correct, sir.
No, I'm not. That's it. Remember, you guys, you think it, I will say it. You're very welcome. And we'll see you on Patreon. Go to nickdip.com. It's all explained if you want to subscribe to Patreon. Am I right, fella? That's it. So I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves.